Guys, so we're going to be going over whether or not Nefer is going to be worth your pulls and the pros and cons to her. So starting off, we're going to be going over and discussing her actual damage capabilities. And unlike the leaks that came out quite a while ago, myself seeing that a little worried, her AoE damage actually isn't that bad. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near the levels of, let's say, Nilou Bloom. However, because of the damage capabilities as well as multipliers that Nefer is going to be having, her AoE damage is going to be adequate, not on par to the max that Nilou Bloom teams are at, but her overall damage capabilities in terms of AoE content is going to be great. Now, does she fully eclipse Nilou in terms of Bloom, like with Lauma? Probably not. But given the fact that where endgame content is going, you're not really going to be needing that, so that's good to know. Going over to her single target damage, her damage capabilities is going to be similar or on par to the likes of Skirk, Flynn's, and Mawika. So we're possibly looking at a new top tier DPS character in the Dendro category. So you can go ahead and just throw your Kaniche way over to the side. You're not really going to be needing him anymore. And this damage capability has the potential to even further boost with the release of Columbina in the future. So while the damage numbers could look great on her release, properly built, keep in mind that this damage number can actually go even higher. Now, that's a pro. A con of Nefer is going to be her high Primogem count. And what I mean by this is in terms of vertical investment. Now, being a main DPS character, ideally you want to vertically invest in your Nefer, but it's not just her. Her signature weapon is phenomenal. It's not only a great stat stick, but I'm going to be showing it also right here, is that her whole entire kit revolves around absorbing the little bloom pods and going into her shadow state. And the damage is going to be increased even further with her signature weapon. You would be losing probably about 20 to 25% of her actual maximum potential damage without having her signature weapon. And that's not even discussing her constellations, which are pretty good for the most part. Once you get to C2, it's a probably good, stopping point, but, whales being whales, you can go even further. The other main issue with Nefer is going to be her actual teams. Because of the fact you are going to be wanting one specific character and one specific character only, that being Lauma. Being able to have access to Verdant Dew and further increase your overall maximum damage capabilities, you'd be having a 30% damage increase with Lauma by herself on the team. Not even including the likes of like Nahida or Kokomi or some other Hydro character that you would want to put on there, maybe Farina. Another good option would be Ino, and that is actually good in the, the quote-unquote free-to-play category, having Ino there. But in terms of overall capabilities, Nefer is going to be having a very, very expensive team. So that's something to, you need to keep in mind. But another positive is in terms of the actual weapon itself. I did mention that the main weapon, her signature, is going to be very good, but it adds more Primogems to the pull count. She has a craftable weapon that is okay. It's not super great, but the craftable will be able to get you by, and you'll be able to see good damage capability with the craftable weapon compared to, let's say, a generic 4-star weapon. Now, if you have other decent good stat stick 5-star weapons, use those. But the craftable weapon allows further boost to your Lunar Bloom as well. Another thing that personally I think is actually a downside is the fact that ideally, unless you do have, I have to caveat this, unless you do have C1 Lauma providing healing, the premium Nefer team isn't really going to be having a whole lot of sustain. It is going to be, for the most part, a sustainless team, so ideally you need to be very smart with your playing and your dodging. But overall, in terms of damage capability, in terms of what she provides to a main DPS category, being a hyper DPS carry, it's much like Skirk, much like Mawika in some instances, that Nefer is going to be a strong character. The major downside though is you have to have Lauma. If you don't, you can pull for Nefer and pull Lauma down the line, but you're not going to be able to see the huge damage capability that you're going to be seeing on a bunch of YouTube videos.